The coronavirus outbreak in China is posing a threat to a key provision of the U.S. China trade deal, the country's ambitious pledge to buy large amounts of U.S. goods over the next 2 years. The virus has caused hundreds of deaths and infected thousands of people. Authorities have responded with widespread lockdowns to contain the virus, which means workers and companies can't do business as usual.
There's really not a sector of the economy that's going to be undisturbed by the outbreak. And then we can talk about that's kind of in the domestic economy, but then that domestic economy and manufacturing in particular is fueled by imported goods. And so then you start to see the spillovers to countries that export to China also feeling the impacts.
The Phase 1 trade agreement contains a list of U.S. goods that China has pledged to buy $200 billion more of during the next 2 years. The country claimed it'd be able to meet those pledges thanks to demands of its growing market. But that was a tall order even before the virus hit. China would have to nearly double purchases of targeted U.S. goods to meet its goals. China's most recent battle with the coronavirus was in 2003, when the SARS epidemic infected over 8,000 people worldwide, killing 774. The country was able to shrug off the economic hit of that virus, but this latest outbreak could have a more devastating impact.
China was in a very different place as an economic actor in the world in 2003. They were, I think, the 6th largest economy then. Now they're the 2nd largest economy and growing more rapidly than any other economy in the world. Global supply chains everywhere are dependent on China and go through China in some way, shape, or form. So the potential for a significant economic impact is very, very real, and I think kind of immeasurable.
China hasn't publicly sought to get out from under its purchase commitments just yet. In fact, the country recently slashed its tariffs covering $75 billion worth of U.S. imports, making it easier for Chinese firms to buy those U.S. products. But it's worth noting the U.S. China trade deal does contain a possible out. Its last clause says both sides can meet for consultations if an, quote, unforeseen event outside the control of the parties delays a party from timely complying with its obligations under this agreement.
It might make sense for the U.S. government, for the Trump administration, to consider taking some steps proactively to provide relief from U.S. tariffs, at least temporarily, in order to make the deal more feasible.